back to the Guitar Festival.
Yeah.
It must be cool for you to sort of influence a younger generation because you get to go face to face with them.
Well,
Inspire
I love
them.
that, and that's my whole goal in my life right now is to kind of give this away and give this back, because I've been, you close yourself off in a box and try to ignore the world to focus on everything. But if you do that forever, no one's ever going to get anything from it or know that it exists. So it's really great that up here in Finland I've found that there is much more of a kind of avenue directly to the teenagers and the younger kids that are actually wanting to be in bands. That's unfortunately kind of faded away in the States. And I used to teach a lot, and I used to be involved a lot in younger players, but it's really faded away more in the States. And to come here and play a festival like South Park and look out and see that the average age has got to be 23 or something. Lots of younger kids and older people too, but much more of a younger average. And then being involved in this Rock Academy Finland, we see 25 bands every season.
Yeah.
Everyone's younger than 20 years old, and they kick ass. Seriously, they're better than the warm-up acts that we can get on the road. A lot of the warm-up acts that we get stuck with on the road. No disrespect to any of the bands we've toured with, because we toured with a lot of really, really good ones. But I think that whatever the environment is, these young guys are able to have a practice space and able to have some gear and have some influence and be able to write their own music. By the time I get to see them and they're only 20 or 21, they've already written really good songs and they're kind of on their way much farther than maybe you could do in other places. So
and maybe today it's easier to make your first EP and that kind of stuff. Because
it is
you
easier
can record
to
it at home or at somebody's basement.
That is totally true, but on the other hand, the easier it becomes, then the less a band is really going to develop to the point that they need to be to go out into the real world. So that's what's good about this program, is it's about bands. And it's about taking them from that kind of bedroom step or rehearsal space step where they're doing their thing in the rehearsal room, and they can make good demos now, the demos that anybody can make sound like records from 10 years ago, and that's all good, but to really be able to go out and do what you need to do on stage for 2 months straight and be 110% every night, that's a whole different world.
Yeah,
and it's like athletics.
yeah, totally. Like it doesn't matter any sport. I mean, you can hit the weights as much as you can and do the routine theory of it, but
to get out there and really do it, that's a whole different aspect, and that's what we try to work with the bands on. Things like sound checking. Just the little things you wouldn't think are important.
Yeah, please tune your guitar with the sound off.
Tuning, right? Tuning, sound checking. How to treat the people at the venues.
That is so important, and I really think that once you learn it,
it's always there because you understand it's got to be that way, or else you're never going to play again.
Exactly, because you have to work with the place.
Right, everybody has to work together. It's not a big company with a boss and all this administration. It's free and floating, and everybody has to interact on a really kind of human basis. They've never met each other. You have to work together for one night. You're traveling thousands of miles in every direction. So for all that to come together and have a great show, it's amazing that it happens. But it does, because people are professionals.
And it probably doesn't matter if you're doing a small bar gig.
Doesn't matter at all.
But tomorrow you're doing a three-man show in Henry's Pub, or you're headlining a
doesn't matter. It's all the same thing, because once you're playing music, it all feels great.
Exactly.
It all feels great.
So speaking of tomorrow, you are in Henry's Pub tomorrow.
Tonight we do the jam, and that's fun. I'll play this guitar. It's just kind of, we play covers, and that's a lot of fun. Tomorrow night I play with a trio from Turku that we've been doing shows for about a year now, and it's a cool thing because I built about 20 of these when I first designed and tried to start a little company. I built about 20 back in the 90s. And I sold 5 maybe. So I still had, I had like 10 that are kind of completed but not put together. So a couple friends of mine, Mark, that you met from Rock Academy, expressed interest in owning their own. So now we have 3 of us that play this double neck, which is The acoustic neck is on the top.
Yeah.
And the electric neck is on the bottom, and they're two complete instruments. So, you know, I made it for playing with a band. I made it for playing with a real band. So you could switch between electric and acoustic, whatever, like Rush or whoever. But I never anticipated that in sort of an acoustic duo setting, which is what this kind of started out as, guys just singing and playing in acoustics, that now you have a lead situation. You have an opportunity for somebody to just take a lead, and it's great. No drums, no bass, just acoustic and lead guitar. So now we have three of us. That means three of us can sing, three of us can play acoustic, and anybody can jump down and play electric when we want. So it's really fun. We're still playing covers, but we are going to develop this into more of a... I like to use Apocalyptica as an example because they looked at, you know, their favorite metal songs and tried to adopt them first onto cellos, and it worked awesome. And now they've slowly built completely their own style around that, with drums and with vocals and everything. So with time, once I can get relocated here, I'm really hoping that we can, you know, take this arrangement of 3 acoustic electric double necks and really turn it into something really cool for guitar players and for anybody. Just that, you know, we can, you know, create something that's unique because there are no drums and there is no bass, and it's just the 3 of us kind of playing together and switching back and forth.
This is a really cool idea, sort of on 2 levels, because you get the band experience, but you're also sort of promoting, look, here's a really like innovative idea of something that, well, of course the double neck has been done before, but sort of here you can translate this to the acoustic level, and that's really maybe I can't say it's not been done before, but it's not really something that people use usually. So you can sort of promote, hey, here's an innovation of the classic 6-string guitar.
Well, just for the longest time, I had an acoustic guitar up on a stand, and that was the easiest way to play a real acoustic sound with strings. And it kept on getting broken, kept on getting knocked over by people tripping on the cord or whatever. And even though it was kind of cool because you could have your whatever electric and just walk right up to it and play. This makes it even more simple, and it also gives you the chance to actually really go back and forth and make some music that incorporates both necks in every song, which I haven't really gotten the chance to do. And I'm hoping to find other players that would really be interested in taking an instrument like this and making it their own thing and really developing a style on it that I would never imagine. That's the way.
Yeah, I mean, I could imagine with special tuning you could tune one to have chords ready, and then you can just lead with
everything. There's lots of possibilities with it, and I've just been scratching the surface.
Yeah. Hey, I really want to talk about, you were doing some lead stuff for a new CD. So I want to get this right, so I'm just going to read it out from here. So D is Lord of the Lost, and it came out a few months ago.
No, came out March 23rd.
Yeah.
It's a really cool band called Lord of the Lost from Hamburg, Germany, and I got to see them once last October at a thing called the Trash Fest in Helsinki, and they headlined, and they're kind of a really cool industrial kind of power metal goth band. The first thing that drew me to them is a company in Hamburg that builds their guitars, and they're really amazing guitars called Cyan guitars, C-Y-A-N. So I saw the guitars, then I saw that they were one of the main bands using them, and then I listened to their stuff, and then I really fortunately got to see them at the Trash Fest. So after it was over, I went and found the guitar tech. I'm like, can I see one of those guitars, man? So he showed me one of the guitars, and I met him and met the other guys and stuff, and then I realized they were making a new record. So one morning I woke up, sat right up in bed and said, grabbed my phone, and I wrote right to the guitar player. I said, if I can play a lead on your record, let me know. I'd really love to play lead. It'd be killer. So, you know, I didn't think anything of it. I've done that a lot. You kind of write to people and you have an idea, and usually you don't hear back. It's like, they weren't doing anything. So I didn't expect to hear anything. And like 4 hours later, I get a mail back. He goes, that's a great idea. We'll find a song for you. And I'm like, cool. But I still didn't think anything of it because, you know, hey, they might say, we'll find a song, but maybe they won't. The next day, they sent me this track that just was so great, and I listened to them like, fuck, this is right up my alley. It was perfect. It was a song called I'll Sleep When You're Dead. Really cool groove. So I just demoed it for a while, and I planned on doing a real recording of it out in California when I was working on more W.A.S.P leads. But then when I got out to California, we were so busy, and the studio I was going to work in had closed, and so I wasn't able to re-record it.
Okay.
But what's cool is the demos, which is always kind of common. When you're not trying, you record the coolest shit.
Exactly.
So I had a bunch of really cool shit, and I had already sent it to them. I said, "Here's the demos. This is what I'm working on." And then when I got to California, I wrote and I said, "Unfortunately, I can't recut the lead." And they said, "No, don't. We love this. Don't. It's great." And they threw it right on there.
Yeah.
So
sometimes you can't recreate some
Right.
crazy idea. You go back and listen to it.
I was
5
just
years later.
fooling around in the rehearsal room with the gear and recorded it right on GarageBand, right in my PC, And they said, "No, we're using that. We love it." So they put that right on the record. So it's kind of funny to hear it and think I was recording that. I wasn't really even trying when I recorded it, but.
So is there any hope that maybe they're touring in Finland, you're in Finland, and you say, "Hey, I'm in
Absolutely. I've asked them, I'd love to get on stage. I don't know if they'll play that song live, but I'd still love to get on stage and jam with them.
Yeah.
And they are coming up here in, I think, September, October. I saw some dates.
Okay.
And I think they are playing Tampere. I'm not positive. We can check it out.
I will
Yeah,
look into
I
it.
think they're doing like 4 or 5 dates in Finland. They're excellent live band and really on their way up. So I think they're going to they're kind of the heirs of the Rammstein throne. I mean, they're not like Rammstein is, of course, but they're in that direction. And if they work it well and keep recording good records and touring, they might really kind of be able to take that audience.